What if Ukraine isn't just holding the line but redefining the future of warfare? From battlefield-tested drone software not being exported to Taiwan, to NATO generals saying they should learn from Ukrainian tactic, not the other way around. While Ukrainian FPV units steer through Russian logistics in the Lyman sector, the Kremlin scrambles to shift strategy with cruise missile strikes from the sea. Big changes are happening on land, in the air and across ocean. This is Ukraine Today. I'm Zoroslava Kolesnikova and I'm here to bring you the truth about the war, the tech and the global ripple effects. Stay tuned, it's all just getting started. What connects the war in Ukraine and recent tension in the Pacific? The answer might surprise you. Ukrainian software that helps drone hunt down Russian tanks is now hidden to Taiwan. In a powerful move, Taiwan has signed a deal with Otarion, the company behind the software used by Ukrainian forces. Their goal: boost Taiwan's defense as China ramps up its military pressure. Is this the start of a new global alliance through battlefield technology? Stay tuned.
Ukrainian drone software is entering the global market. Taiwan is purchasing Ukrainian drone software used to destroy Russian equipment. Taiwan has signed an agreement with Otarion, a company whose drone software is actively used by the armed forces of Ukraine. The goal of the cooperation is to strengthen Taiwan's defense capabilities amid the growing military threat from China. Ukraine's combat experience is becoming an export product. Modern swarm drone software, developed and tested by Ukrainian operators during the war, is becoming the foundation for defense solutions in other countries. The latest systems make it possible to launch dozens or even hundreds of drones that operate autonomously, even under electronic warfare conditions. If the drone loses connection with the operator, it does not stop, but continues to carry out its mission according to a preset algorithm. The system takes into account the target's behavior, the possibility of maneuvering, and weather conditions. This software solution can be scaled for drones of different classes, from lightweight quadcopters to strike platforms. In the future, it could form the basis for air defense systems, maritime monitoring, and autonomous reconnaissance. A contract to deploy such systems in Asia confirms that Ukraine today is not only a battlefield but also a global laboratory of modern warfare, whose technologies are becoming the foundation for the defense of other countries.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
A major shift in perspective. Retired U.S. Army General Ben Hodges say it's NATO that should be learning from Ukraine, not the other way around. In an interview with Kyiv Post, the former U.S. Army Europe commander praised Ukraine's military for outperforming many NATO forces. Fighting a full-scale war for over 3 years, Ukrainians' defense forces continue to impress the West with their resistance, rapid adaptation and tech-savvy strategies. Is the alliance ready to admit that the future of warfare is beginning writing in Ukraine?
Retired U.S. Army General Ben Hodges believes that it is NATO that should be learning from the Ukrainian army, not the other way around. He stated this in his interview with the Kyiv Post. The former commander of U.S. forces in Europe emphasized that most NATO armies today do not reach the level of combat effectiveness demonstrated by the Ukrainian defense forces. The Ukrainian army has been operating under conditions of total war for the third year in a row and continues to impress Western analysts with its resilience, speed of adaptation and technological approach. The armed forces of Ukraine have learned not only to quickly integrate Western weaponry, but also to independently develop and implement advanced solutions, from networked air defense systems to unmanned surface vehicles and coordinated attacks using FPV drones. These technologies are being developed in real-time combat. Unlike the staff doctrines of many NATO armies, which have not had experience fighting an adversary of equal strength, the approach of the Ukrainian command is based on decentralization, grassroots initiative, and digital coordination. That is why the Ukrainian model is considered one of the most combat-capable in the modern military environment. More and more Western experts are acknowledging that it is NATO that should be learning from Ukraine, not the other way around.
On the Lyman front, Ukrainian drone units are relentlessly targeting Russian rear position. From command posts to observation towers and supply trucks, nothing is safe. These precision FPV strikes are creeping enemy logistics and blinding their surveillance capabilities. Can Russia hold the line when the sky itself turns against them?
FPV drones on the Lyman front are destroying the enemy's logistics and surveillance. On the Lyman front, fighters from a unit specializing in FPV drones continue to systematically strike at the rear of Russian forces. The main targets are the destruction of vehicles, command posts, equipment, and observation positions. This approach disrupts logistics and leaves the enemy blind and with limited mobility. The enemy is losing equipment and the ability to move effectively, as well as to coordinate actions on the front line. Strikes on observation posts and relays significantly complicate the enemy's artillery adjustment and aerial targeting. The use of FPV drones makes it possible to deliver pinpoint strikes with minimal costs and high precision. This is one of the most effective tools of asymmetric warfare, which the Russian army still cannot cope with.
The Russian Navy is stepping up its game. In just the first weeks of June, Moscow has launched twice as many cruise missile attacks from the Black Sea as in previous months, signing a possible shift in tactics. Is the Kremlin trying to make up for massive losses in the air? And how long can Russia sustain sea-based strikes with limited firepower?
Russia has intensified its strikes from the sea. The fleet is operating more frequently than usual. Since the beginning of June, there have already been 2 massive cruise missile strikes from Black Sea Fleet ships. This is twice as much as usual. Previously, naval launch systems were used about once a month. Such increased activity may indicate a change in tactics. Most likely, Russia is trying to compensate for growing losses in aviation, including both aircraft and trained crews. At the same time, the capabilities of naval launches remain limited. The number of missiles on board each carrier is small, and preparing a launch requires time and concealment. Nevertheless, the increase in the share of naval strikes may be a sign that the Russian General Staff is looking for new ways to carry out attacks amid a shortage of other resources. This also complicates the work of Ukrainian intelligence and air defense, since strikes coming from the sea require separate monitoring and response. That's all for today. Tune in tomorrow for more news.
That's all for today on Ukraine Today. If you want to keep the truth alive and the stories flowing, support independent Ukrainian journalism, become a channel sponsor, share this video and help us fight on the information front. Your support means more than ever. Subscribe, comment and stand with Ukraine, because every voice matters. See you soon.